bim, 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 ba. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yada da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Good Shabbos and welcome to Temple Shir Shalom's Kabbalat Shabbat service. It's so wonderful to be able to gather together online since we can't be in person this evening. And joining us is our special musician to accompany us and provide beautiful music. We've got Matthew Steyer, and a special mazel tov to him as he celebrated his wedding last week. And our Shabbat service this evening is going to be our meditation style service. So we hope you find yourselves somewhere comfortable to sit, relax, lay. If you want to stand up during the prayers that we traditionally rise for, feel free to do that. If you want to stay seated, you're welcome to do that as well. But we'll be going through our service, and we'll follow in the chat as well. So if you wanted to put a message, if you didn't have a chance to let us know about a yard site or Mishaberach that you wanted us to add to the list, please add it there as well, and we'll make sure that we include those names as that part of the service too. And of course, we'll have a moment for Tish afterwards as well. But we begin first with a little bit of meditative music to set the tone.
Ya da da da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da, ya da da da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da. Ya da da da, ya da da, ya da 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 da, ya da da da, ya da da, ya da 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 da. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you were born and reborn, and reborn. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
This week is a return to the Torah portion of the week. We read about Moses continuing to deliver a speech to the Israelite community, promising that if we follow God's commandments, then we'll reap the rewards by living a life of blessing and a life of prosperity in the land of Israel. One of the commandments that we're given in this portion is that after we eat a meal, we're supposed to pause to thank God. And that verse is the reason for the Birkat Hamazon, the prayer which is traditionally recited after a meal. The one blessing of being in isolation in these past few days is that it's given me some extra time to read from sources that I haven't looked at in a while. And one of those sources, I read a great commentary by Rabbi Bradley Artson, who asks why it's necessary to thank God after the meal when our petition for food has already been granted. His response is that prayer isn't just about focusing on our needs and whether they're met or not. The act of praying, he writes, has a larger purpose. It sensitizes us to the greatest marvel of all, that we exist and that we are conscious of our existence. Prayer is supposed to shock us into an awareness that life itself is miraculous. Reciting prayers, joining in services as we welcome Shabbat tonight, we hope that's exactly what it does for us. That it gives all of us the chance to take our mundane actions, those things that we do without even thinking, and that we restore a sense of wonder to them, a sense of marvel, and a sense of awe. And so as we begin, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Focus on your breath. Breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breath, something that we do thousands of times each day without noticing, without paying attention to it. Breathe in, breathing in God's gift to us, and breathe out. As you continue to recognize the blessing of your breath, picture in your mind this past week, special events, the regular occurrences. What are some of those things that you may have taken for granted, that you do without thinking? Name them to yourself. Maybe it's walking to get the mail from the mailbox, or driving to work, or to meet a friend. Maybe it was watching a storm come through from the comfort of a dry location, or enjoying the sense of something baking in the oven, or from a neighbor who was grilling outside. What marvel did you experience this week that you didn't take time to recognize, to celebrate, to be thankful for? As we think of those blessings, we return again to our prayers, to our word, with the opportunity to recognize the beauty and awe in our lives. And for those that would like to, we rise together for our call to worship for the words of the Baruch Hu.
Laila, 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 laila. Laila, 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 laila. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
As we prepare for the words of the Hashkivenu, I invite you to close your eyes again and to meditate. To begin by focusing on your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you continue to focus on your breath, start to explore the silence within. What comes to your mind? Where do your thoughts take you? Is it to a loved one? Something related to work? Is it something that you're excited about? Or maybe something you wish you had done differently? As your mind reveals something new, picture an image in your mind to go along with it. No matter what comes, our sages teach Gam Ze Kadosh. This too is holy. So often, our worlds are filled with a buzz. There's constant movement and motion around us. Our minds are spinning. And we don't give ourselves moments just to stop, to pause, and to listen. But each night, we do have that time as we go to sleep, as we try to close our eyes and get ready for what we hope will be a restful night. And because of that, the rabbis of old knew that sometimes our minds couldn't stop spinning. And so they wrote this prayer, asking, just as we do now, that as we lay down to sleep, that God allow us time to let our minds wander, just enough so that we can still fall asleep tonight, get a restful night, and wake up to life renewed and refreshed.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ufros aleinu Sukkah shlomecha Lechaim ulshalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Me'ata ve'ad olam Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ushmor tzedzeinu Uvoenu B'chaim ulshalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Le'olam Me'ata ve'ad olam Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim.
And in preparation for the Amidah, we take a moment now for our own private prayers, having that private, intimate conversation with ourselves, with God, as we prepare for the Avot V'Imahot. Please pray silently.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיוני לי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי לגואלי Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Beyond our own private prayers, do we take a moment now to think of those friends and family who are in need of healing, in need of a refuah shlema? And as we think of them, we hope that just as Torah, which has given our people strength for thousands of years, that as we think of it and taking out of the ark or opening the ark, that it continue to give us and our loved ones that strength as well. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sar Rivka Leah v'Rachel Hu Yavarech et Acholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness and anxiety. Alyssa Ayudo, Alan Edelberg, Amy Drysdale Atler, Shannon Bacon, Mickey Berg, Doreen Billett, Michael Brody, Karen Kasman, Chava Rachel Esther Bashena Rivka, Patty Seresny, Stephen Chadwick, Rick Deroven, Megan Dox, Elisheva Batsara, Michael Eisen, Barbara Esrig, Richard Finkel, Richard Gotro, Robert Goldstein, Todd Graham, Batya Batbeshia Panina, Andrew Halo, Ava Haberkorn-Hom, Ty Hall, Hank Heiser, Carol Kaufman, Karen Kesser, Serafina Coffrin, Alyssa Coltano, Karen Coltano, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Libby McIntyre, Lorene Majeski, Sean Majeski, Zoe Marcus, Joyce Meza, Teresa Miji, Allison Mertzman, Gail Mintz, Mordechai Ben Moshe, Lev Herschel Ben Batami, Semech Ben Reut, Linda Newman, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Razel Bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva Bat Avram Vachana, Susan Perlman, Mary Pilbin, Melanie Pohl, Joanne Reed, Rachel Mibeit Chaim Vachava, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, the Saint Amand family, Bernard Sklar, Roberta Sanino, Pamela Margulis Stone, Barbara Storm, Justin Weber, Deborah Zivian, all those battling the coronavirus, the 32,455 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and the surrounding areas to date, and all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. Together we say, Amen.
Mi shebera Avotenu Mekor Abraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebera imotenu mekor abraha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
The Kaddish may be understood as a praise for the gift of life, love, and thought. It is a reminder of all that came before us. It is a testament to the psalmists and sages, the poets and prophets of our people who made our life and our faith possible. It is a celebration of our past, our present, and our future. It never mentions death. It is a reminder of all the friendships that we have cherished and the memories we have shared. Even in the most painful times, the Kaddish is our statement of faith. So in this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Shiva, Shlashim, and Shana we mark. Craig Crewman, Flo Rita Block, Milton Zussman, Steve Yaros, Marlene Miller, Tony Michaels, Sherry Minland, Lloyd Suter, Ronald Zamler, Ivan Fiddler, Larry Shook, Lawrence Genender, John Jack Holmes, the 4,586 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq and the surrounding areas to date, and the 1,039,847 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, we add those whose yahrzeits we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Jack Alpert, Simon Alpert, Martin Alvin, Stephen Glenn Averbuck, Mary Bass, Robert Blank, Abraham Brash, Bill Cooperstock, Rose Disner, Goldie Dunn, Allison Brooke Felk, Marion Feingold, Robert Stephen Finkel, Frida Fisher, Sheldon Fishman, Kenneth Gitlin, David Goodman, Alex Gross, Eileen Joseph, Dr. Sidell, Rhonda, Markson Katzer, Dr. Sidell Rhoda Markson Katzer, Elsie Lindau, Walter Lindau, Beverly Lopayton, Israel Lopayton, Jack Malamed, Francis Markson, Mary Myers, Diane Sirota Mintz, Bernard Murray, Minnie Pohl, Loretta Raskin, Sarah Rich, Sam Robbins, Mary Rosenthal, Louis Seidman, Ida Scher, Mickey Silverman, Morton Silverman, Milford Mickey Stern, Sharon Ray Varon, Nancy Ann Victor, Teddy Zicholtz, along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal words of the Mortar's Kaddish, thanking God for the gift of their life? Yitkadal, V'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'almad Yivrach, Chertei, V'amlich Malchutei, B'chayachon, Uvyomachon, U'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivarach, Le'olam Omei Amaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudusha, B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere, as together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, Amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Good Shabbos. And thank you, Matthew, for providing beautiful music and prayer and leading us today. Always great to have you with us. And again, a mazel tov on your wedding. For those that were here at the beginning and who may have noticed that I missed it, as many of you have done already and put a comment in the chat, feel free to continue to do that and to wish each other a Shabbat Shalom and introduce yourselves, because I forgot to do that at the beginning as we were going through. And we still have a couple minutes to be able to be together as a community as we take a moment for a few announcements, as well as a moment for Tish as well. And so if you have questions, because I know there's a delay in what we are broadcasting in a couple minutes, potentially, or up to a few minutes between that and the YouTube, feel free to put your posts or questions in the chat in the YouTube channel now. But as we do that, a few announcements of different things that are coming up that we want to make sure that you're aware of. One, I believe that this week on Wednesday at 2:00, we've got our Tea Talk and Torah class. There's no charge for that, and it's open to anybody from Temple. There is a charge for guests because we provide a little bit of nosh and some tea and some wonderful conversation in the group there that's been meeting, but we always welcome new people to join us because every class stands alone as we do that too. It is August, and so we start to think about end of the summer, even though we're not there yet. And so just to make sure that you have it on your calendars as well, our service under the stars will be Friday, September 2nd, so that Friday of Labor Day weekend, and we'll start with a picnic at 6:30 and then have our service at 7:30. There's no charge for the picnic, but I do think that we ask that you RSVP just so that we get a good idea of how many people will be joining, so that we can have enough food for everybody as we're doing that. And there will be services in person tomorrow from the one clergy person along with Matthew that is not dealing with COVID at the moment. So it should be safe there as you're doing that, as we celebrate a wonderful bat mitzvah tomorrow. And so that's at 10:30 tomorrow at Temple, and that will be live as well. With that, we look to see if there are any questions for Tish. Perfect. It looks like a quiet night. And so with that, we will raise our cups as we join together, sanctifying this special day and thanking for moments just like this. And as we join together with Matthew.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
If you have a challah out or some bread, we invite you to join in the motzi as many of you prepare for your delicious Shabbat dinners.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, motzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
And for those of you who might be curious about that tradition that we're going to ask at Tish, but I didn't give you a long enough chance. There's a tradition that for those of you with that challah or that bread tonight, as you're getting ready to eat it, that you actually get to dip it inside of honey to make it even sweeter. The tradition is that on Shabbat, we dip it in salt to remind us of the challah sacrifice that was made thousands of years ago in the temple. But anytime you were in the presence of a newlywed for up to a year, you get to dip it in honey instead of salt. And so since Matthew is with all of us in our living rooms and kitchens and wherever we might find ourselves, it's as if we're with him and we get to enjoy that honey as well. And with that, we close with our final benediction. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and may God protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. May God shine upon you and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift you up, giving you strength. And most of all, may God bless you with peace. Peace in your hearts, peace in your mind. May we all have a little more peace in our world. As together we all say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.